She poses some really good questions within the program, when making sure, especially when it comes down to the evaluation, part of the program and looking at whether or not that target population was reached, which is very important, especially when you're dealing with a wide range of ages. And she mentions that the school system within that area that she's looking at, it does encompass quite a few schools. So it's really important to make sure that you're reaching that target age group. The only thing that isn't necessarily discussed is full-on sustainability and financing, which I think is really important, especially because she's talking about utilizing office space and having a larger office and having receptionists and that sort of thing. So my question is, if you have a child maybe, or an individual, a parent who might be able to utilize the services that this program is presenting, if it's presented in the school, does the school then refer them to this program? Can they be referred from the hospitals if there's something coming in, someone coming in from an overdose, from law enforcement from an overdose, from EMTs from an overdose? How are these individuals necessarily referred to this program? Obviously, utilizing space for people to come so that assessments can be run, so that you can look at what services specifically are needed and where to refer them to from that point is very important. But one thing that isn't necessarily discussed is where the action occurs at the time of notification of the fact that there is an issue. Is it done in the schools? Again, is it done in the hospital? Can they self-refer? Can they come to the facility? What if they don't have children? What if you have an 18-year-old who has a parent who is using, and that 18-year-old wants the parent to come in and they bring the parent in, but maybe they're no longer within that school system? How are you going to functionally be able to separate those situations and not pull in the public from that sort of thing, whereas it's specifically a referral from the school? The training amongst, she talks about meetings and gatherings to make sure that the program is understood and that fact. However, are there trainings for teachers for recognition, a more understanding capability of the EMTs, of the doctors, of the judges? How are those things going to be referred, especially for the teachers who are really on the front lines with the kids? And if you're really utilizing the fact that you're looking at children who are using and trying to refer them in so that they can get that assistance, what about their parents? What about if they're using from that environmental influence that comes from the home? Or maybe not a substance abuse influence from the home, but maybe the parent is not in the home often. Maybe the parent themselves are doing other risky behaviors where they aren't there. Maybe, there's something where the whole family can be utilized. Can it encompass the family? Can it encompass those parents? Notification to the parents of the fact that the child might be receiving services is also very important. How is that parent going to be notified? And what if the parent refuses to allow their child to utilize those services? Again, these are also questions that I'm thinking of now and thinking back in my own program. Yeah, I didn't really think about those things when I was thinking about how my program would utilize those factors. But all in all, it's a decent program that is presented. I think procedurally and evaluation wise that it might be a little bit more difficult, given the fact that she does have this huge broad spectrum amount of individuals. If you have one county coroner or one main county coroner and assistant coroners, who's going to be responsible for that coming in? Is there that time? Is there funding that gets pulled in? Is the city or the county going to be involved, and how will they be involved within that? But all in all, the measures of whether or not this program would be utilized and beneficial are very good, and it's very important to make sure she does encompass that cultural aspect, which is also important.